Well, welcome back. Now, I was going to bring you this story from Germany at the end of the last video, but to tell you the truth, I forgot. But it really is quite potentially a very interesting and could have huge consequences. It's BioNTech, the Pfizer partner, of course, are being taken to court in Germany, their own native country. Now, let's look at this, because either way, even if there's not big legal ramifications of this, there is some pretty interesting scientific ramifications. Let's look at it now. So BioNTech, first German lawsuit over alleged COVID-19 vaccine side effects. Alleged. Now this is mostly from Reuters, where I've got this information from here. BioNTech in court. Now they did go actually to court on Monday, so it was about 4 or 5 days ago now, and the lawyers for the people that claim to be vaccine injured actually complained about the judge, as far as we can tell, and instead of having, or not so much complained about the judge, but they didn't want one judge and they wanted a group of judges. So the whole case is currently postponed, we think just for a few days, until this is sorted out. So a bit of an interesting development already in this case. It's a lawsuit from a German woman. Now, this is one woman who's basically going to be a test case. Now, the firm that's representing this woman, I think they've got about 250 other people waiting to bring cases against BioNTech. And other German legal firms, of course, have got many others. So several hundred overall waiting the outcome of this. Which could be as significant, and we'll look at some numbers which are a bit mind-boggling in a minute, actually. Seeking damages for alleged side effects, this particular case, first of potentially hundreds of cases. Damage for bodily harm and material damage is I suppose that's some sort of legal German way of putting it. The woman claims she suffered from vaccine-induced upper body pain, swollen extremities, fatigue and sleep disorder. Okay. And we can assume that the lawyers wouldn't have brought this to court unless they've got some medical verification of this, but we'll find out. Tobias Ulbrich is the lawyer concerned to challenge in court the European Union German assessment that BioNTech has a positive risk-benefit profile. So the European Medicines Agency and the German authorities both approved the risk-benefit profile, and this is now being questioned openly in court in Germany. And as well as that, if this succeeds in Germany, it's going to open the floodgates all around the world. Okay, there's a few hundred cases in Germany, but how many are there in the UK, in the United States? Everywhere else around the world, this could be absolutely quite a huge development. The German criteria, how do the Germans decide this? Now, we're dabbling into German law here, of course, which I'm only taking really what the Reuters say about it, but makers of drugs or vaccines only liable if medical science shows that their products cause disproportionate harm, okay, or if the labelling information is wrong. So they have to show that their products cause disproportionate harm. Can they do this in court? Now, bear in mind that this is the Pfizer vaccine, the Comirnaty, given to 1.5 billion people, 64 million in Germany. And the European Medicines Agency themselves has registered almost 1.7 million spontaneous reports of suspected side effects by May. So this is not a small amount. And the other thing that I thought of is, if people have registered side effects, even if it's not a big side effect, could they be looking at compensation from, could they be looking at compensation? We don't know who it's coming from yet. Because in the UK, to get the UK vaccine damage allowance, you have to be really quite disabled indeed. Could that be about to change? So 1.7 million spontaneous, the real numbers, of course, could be higher. That's the numbers that reported. 0.2 for every 100,000 that have been administered. So that's the case that's going on in Germany at the moment. Can they show that the risk-benefit analysis assessed was wrong? Can these lawyers show that? if their products cause disproportionate harm compared to the benefit that they offer. Now, I don't think the labelling information is going to be wrong. So I think if this case is going to win, the lawyers are going to have to prove that it caused only liable if medical science shows that the products cause disproportionate harm over benefits. Will they be able to do this? Now, I think it's going to be difficult to demonstrate, partly because some of the information, let's just leave it at that, some of the information is not readily available. And vested interests might not want to release information which doesn't make them look particularly good. Now, let's hope there's going to be none of that happening at all. But this is always a risk that we would worry about in this situation. But imagine this is successful, then there's going to be ramifications of this all around the world. But we are going to see what science we can get. I'm going to try and follow this case through and see what science comes out here, and find out if there is any evidence of disproportionate harm compared to the benefits, which would be interesting, and if that meets the German legal criteria. So let's hope this case actually does start, that the group of judges is assigned, and this is going to be correctly adjudicated, because really what we want here, what we're asking for is truth, really, isn't it? Well, what is actually gone on, what is going on? Although without full disclosure, that's going to be always elusive. So sorry that's a bit short. I meant to put that on at the end of the last one, but thank you for watching.